Good day to you. Good day to you. Get ready with me as I get ready to paint. But first, I'm going to add my eyeliner. I'm using Essence Lead. The right eye is always different. So well, yeah. But let me check the mirror. Okay, I like the right side, so I'm going to make the left one like the right one. They are more or less similar. I'm just going to leave it. Then lips. If I can only find it. Albabok. Found it. It's my homemade balm. It's made with honey. And some oils. And some tint. And I love it. This is my look. Now on to the work. So I am a student at the Milan Art Institute and I'm working on the last two projects of my student work before I move on to my portfolio. And so I'm going to be using gold leaf, and so what I did is that I chose to draw the Hierophant from the tarot. Why? Because the Hierophant in the card is wearing a red cloak, firstly, and secondly, I have been quite interested in the tarot as a form of learning of intuition. Tarot is a form of guidance that it's a tool that you can use to actually, get messages intuitively. And so I just drew a picture here of myself there, standing in the mirror in the Hierophant coat, and I chose the red because I'm going to be using gold leaf, and gold leaf is very well with red. Here we go. I learned this trick from high school way back. One of the girls in class gave us all a tip that when you put on lipstick, to avoid the lipstick going on your teeth, you do this so that it takes away the lipstick from like between your lips, so that it doesn't stain your teeth. Now without further ado, I'm going to kill the white. Not white people, no. the white of the canvas. So that's what I'm doing next. I'm gonna try a complementary color because the cloak is red. I'm going to make it green. I'm gonna add green and mainly green and blue. Then perhaps I'll talk about the Hierophant card. Who doesn't love the camera and or the mirror? I absolutely love it, but let me not waste any more time. I've got my greens. I've got Hooker's green, sap green, and Prussian blue. Using my 50mm brush to get as much paint over the end, get it done quickly because acrylics dry very fast. And I kind of made a mistake because I used ink. To put down my drawing, and so now the ink ran and I can't find the setting spray for the ink. So next time I'm gonna do better, because apparently the setting sprays that I did find, setting sprays that I found, they're basically for dry media, and ink is a wet media. So I know next time that's what I'm going to do. But this is how you learn, by making a little bit of errors. It's quite a dark green. I'm going to add more sap green. I've been listening to that song by Ray. Tell me, where the hell is my husband? What is taking him so long to find me? Sorry for your ears. Okay, I think we cover the whites. And cover the whites. Add some yellow as well. Adding cadmium yellow. That's gonna do. That will do. Do it. I killed the whites. Next up, I'm going to dry it up so that I can continue. back after lunch and I am about to start with the painting. I'm gonna do red. I feel like this might end up being slightly boring. Let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna talk about the Hierophant card. I'm using this book as a reference. Tarot. So let's talk about it one by one. Tarot. Hierophant. I know that the Hierophant is associated with the zodiac sign Taurus and the element of earth. The qualities of the Hierophant is wisdom, teacher, inner guide. Let's talk about it while I paint. Wisdom, let's start there. Stamping out some colors, starting with transparent red oxide. Adding some alizarin crimson. Some purple dioxazine to just add some darks. I'm using a number 40 filbert brush. Start out with wisdom. Wisdom comes from experience. What else about wisdom? No, owls are associated with wisdom. Owls associated with wisdom and moving on now to a number 12 filbert. Wisdom. Wisdom means that you take into consideration experience, and it's great if you can take into consideration your own experience. experience comes learnings and growth. And so that informs the way that you move when you step out into the next adventure of your life. Whether that be relationship or whether it be relationships, whether it be business, maybe a job even. Wisdom is grateful. Applying it when making decisions. What else about wisdom? Wisdom and knowledge go hand in hand. That's for sure. But the quality of the Hierophant is teacher. And it's great when a teacher is wise, teaching yourself. The teacher, did I say enough about wisdom? What else about wisdom is great? Yeah, I think wisdom just mainly goes with experience. And that implies that gaining experience is highly important. It's of high value, because now next time, for example, in this, if I do another painting, I'm not gonna start with ink, because now from my experience I realize that look, it's gonna run when I continue with my process, and that's just not gonna work. So wisdom also entails, what implies that you've actually gone through the ups and downs of the process, and that you've learned from it. You haven't just gone through it blindly. You've actually grown from your process. I personally love wisdom because I love learning. Talking about learning, we move on to the next quality of the Hierophant, which is teacher. Teacher. Who loves teaching? I quite enjoy teaching. And a good teacher is that one who loves learning. Teaching is all about learning, because no one knows it all, and we are here to learn from each other's experiences, from each other's wisdoms. My favorite teachers including in primary school. My favorite teacher was teacher Daisy. She was my first teacher ever. What I loved about her is she looked like a Barbie doll. And she was kind. She loved all of the kids. She loved us all, and she remembered us all. She remembers us all. And so teacher Daisy was my favorite. And then high school, my high school teacher favorite. Let me think about it. Favorite high school teacher was, I'd have to say, Mrs. Hafke. I loved her passion for biology, and she was all about the subject. No, very little ego involved. And then my second favorite teacher in high school was Mr. Ritchie. Mr. Ritchie taught us physics. In varsity, see if I can fix it. Ritchie in high school was the second favorite. And why was he my favorite? He was my favorite because he was funny. He seemed to take life so interesting. He didn't seem to take life so seriously, you know. He was always quite funny. One of my friends had a big crush on me. She would blush. She would turn ruby red whenever he would speak to her. That was always so funny. And no, he explained the concept in a way that was not too hard to understand, even though it's physics. then also he used to, like, he would ask us, what do you want to be? What do you want to do after school? And then maybe someone in class would be like, they want to be a lawyer. Then he would respond and be like, oh, you want to be a lawyer? Lawyer. I always remember that about him. What else? In tertiary, my favorite lecturer. I wouldn't say favorite, but if I had to choose, because there weren't very many of them that were really likable. But I think in third year, he was this prof, his name was Nodia, and he taught us enzymology in biochemistry. That was a difficult class. But I loved his passion. He also had a lot of passion for his subject matter. He always had a smile when he's teaching these things to us, and we would just, so cannot be all of us, but like, some would just look at him wishing to understand exactly what he was talking about. He was probably, if I have to choose, would be him. And in first year, this other prof, also I wouldn't call him my favorite. But he was funny. And it was a huge class in first. I think it was Physics 101. And so at the beginning of the class, when everyone, like, it was a big class. Most likely more than 100 students were in that class. And so at the start of the lecture, the students would be making noise, and then you would walk in at the bottom. It was those classes that would, those staggered seating with inclines at the top. So he would be at the bottom, and then he would just use those long, I think it was those cues that you would use to, as a, how do I explain this? You would use it as a way to, like, if you needed, it was almost like a stretch, something to help you reach something high, tall. And then it was made of wood, so then you would just take it and like throw it down on the table to get everyone's attention, and then you would start lecturing. And he was one of those lecturers that, like, so many of you, most of you are gonna fail this class. Those people, why do they do that? I guess to help you pay attention, because that certainly made me pay attention. I did not want to fail. So we're talking about teacher, quality of teacher. A good teacher for me is someone who is passionate about the topic and someone who focuses on the topic and not anything else, not only ego. And humor is really great. In a teacher. Makes them relatable. Humor is relatable, makes someone relatable, and it makes you relax, makes students just be relaxed. And what else? Passion, humor, and also a teacher realizes that they don't actually know everything and you can learn from your students, because your students also have the experience. That makes a good teacher, in my opinion. Inner guide. An inner guide is the best guide, because I do believe that the Creator is within. God is within. We are an image of the Creator, and the Creator has built us with a guidance system. So if it's within, that's just like the safest guidance. That's the Hierophant, and I like that I'm looking at myself as the Hierophant. And I am learning day by day, moment by moment, to tap into my inner guide. But that's also where my jaw. That's also one of the reasons why I'm going to tarot, because it can be used as a tool to tap into your inner guidance. And I also like the idea of consulting yourself, counseling yourself, instead of counseling with others, because the risk when it comes to counseling with others, of course there are exceptions. There are exceptions to the rule. And I would still say that rather counsel yourself, because the risks when it comes to counseling with others is that it comes with judgment, and they may gossip about you, most likely. chance of people gossiping about your business. And how can anyone outside of you know better when it comes to guidance? Except when you are a child. Except when you are a child, then you need guidance. When you're older, I've learned, and many times the hard way, to rather, let me just check in myself. What's the guidance inside? What does my heart say? And also the risk about seeking guidance outside of yourself is that your dreams, or people may shatter your dreams because of the limited perspective, because of their limited experience. Therefore, I just vote for ask for guidance from a higher source, that is from God, and go within. Go within, baby. That's all I have to say. What I heard and for the video.